Weapons and ammunition. First is the grip. The grip is the appendage designed to be held in order to use the gun. It is the portion of the mechanism that is held by the hand and orients the hand in forward, vertical orientation, similar to the position that would be taken with the conventional pistol. Kumbaga, ang grip hiya is aminiyaan karaptanhan pusil. Next is the barrel. The tube through which a bullet travels when a gun is fired. As you can see in the picture, ang siya itiya it barrel. The trigger, the lever that activates the firing mechanism of the gun. Kumbaga, inihiya na trigger, ang siya inihiya ang gimpupul ha pistol na nagre-releasehan bala. The internal mechanisms that transfer the trigger pull into the firing of the bullet, usually including a firing pin. The firing chamber or the part that holds the cartridge containing the bullets or projectile to be fired. Iniya na firing chamber dito naibubutang ano sa nga bala paging kakasamunan sa na firearm. Number 6. The mechanism that allows for quickly supplying another round bullet to be fired. Wound ballistic is essential for examiner to have a proper understanding of wound caused by firearms. It refers to the study of the effects of penetrating projectile on the body. Gunshot wounds. It is penetrating wound that leaves a skin defect where the projectile passes through the skin. As a general rule, a gunshot exit wound is larger and more irregular than a gunshot entry wound due to the effect of bullet tumbling and bullet deformation. Iniya nga gunshot wound o sa iniya nga samad nga nagbibilin or nagiiwanhan peklat ha skin tungod han projectile na ginre-release han o sa napusil. Gunshot entry wound. Entrance wound has a round or oval-shaped skin defect surrounded by a rim of abrasion called abrasion collar or circumferential marginal abrasion. The result of the forward motion of a bullet of the skin and grazing it at the time of its entry. Inihiya nga gunshot entry wound o sa iniya nga peklat habalat nga shape pa-oval or palidong. Tungod dahan galaw or motion han usa nga bala pasakop han aton skin. An siya nagki-create hiyahan oval nga round skin defect. Gunshot exit wound. Low velocity firearms tend to be relatively small. The projectile traverses the body, producing the laceration upon exit. Wounds can have variety of shapes such as a slit-like comma-shaped, X-shaped, or irregularly shaped. Inihiya nga gun exit wound, paggawas inihambala ha skin hataw na nagkokosan laceration. Iniya na laceration, kumbaga deep cut or tear in the skin or flesh. Ano iniya na laceration is hilarom na hiwa or punitan balat han usanga tawo o laman. Pwede liwat iniya magkamay ada different kinds of shape like bagisla or X shape or diri nga ni mga diri normal na shape han usanga samad or usually nga samad. Burns is an injury caused by application of heat or by a chemical or physical agent having an effect similar to the heat. Most burns are produced by dry heat and result from contact with flame or a heated solid object, or from exposure to the radiant heat. It is a kind of injury nga kosihan mga chemicals or other flammable product or objects. Now, we are in the classification of burns. First degree burns. These injuries involve only the epidermis and are characterized by erythema, edema, and pain. They are prolonged exposure to the low-intensity heat or brief exposure to high-intensity heat and manifest as red discoloration and superficial inflammation. Ini na first degree burn, mga pas-superficial iniya. Second degree burns. It is also called partial thickness burns. The most Superficial second-degree burns totally affects the epidermis as well as the upper third of dermis. The second-degree burn is the moderate level burn. Third-degree burns, also called full-thickness burns, destroy the full thickness of the epidermis and dermis. Iniya na third-degree burn, kuan na niya involved na iniyang bugos nga skin pati na ang mga muscles, tas umabot na iya buto. Sugad na ito hiya kalala. Next is the fourth degree burns. Kung niya, damages iniya deeper tissues like muscles, tendons, ngan bones, ngan mga potentially organs na. Types of burns. Dry burns. Dry heat sources result in dry burns. Example of such sources are ovens, stovetops, hot engine, mufflers, clothes iron, air dryers, heating pads, and furnace. Scalds are produced by moist heat or steam, or any hot liquids such as water, oil, or even molten rubber or metal. They are typically less severe than burns produced by dry heat. Chemical burns are produced through contact with corrosive acids, and most these injuries involve direct tissue damage, which causes drying, blistering, destruction of proteins or fat, or interference with the circular metabolic processes. Usually, hindi naman chemical burns, mga kwaniniyat gamit. So, ito mga products na naka-irritate ng skin and shiny. Fire burns. It occurs from building or home fires are the most common types of thermal injuries encountered in death investigations. Radiant burns are caused by a heat source close to the victim or electromagnetic energy radiating out from the energy source. This is the example of radiant burns. Explosion and blast injuries can be encountered in military environments or industrial or civilian situations. A blast is greater than the speed of sound, and its primary effect is due to compression wave that can cause burns, laceration, and hemorrhage. Electrical injuries and electrocution. It is a result from the overwhelming transmission of electrical current to the body. Lightning injury is produced when the charge under surface of the thundercloud discharges its electricity to the ground. A lightning may directly strike the victim or strike a nearby object and then jump from the object to the victim through a slide flash. Common example is the kidlat. Head injuries. The effects in the injury may vary depending on the exact area of the body that sustained such injury. Injuries in the head are particularly important because if the brain vital role is sustaining the life of the individual. Coup and contra injuries. Objects strikes a stationary head. It produces damage located beneath the impact site, also called as coup injury. For example, mga car accident,